today I'm going to talk about Celine Song's 2025 film, The Materialists, which is her second film, which followed the movie Past Lives. I have to say that Celine Song is probably one of my favorite directors working today. I think Past Lives is a modern day masterpiece because it was just such a unique film in the sense that it explored intercultural dating and long distance relationships, and how it's about your past lives, how you have to sort of let go of certain relationships that have defined you in your childhood, but how you can still love people across time and across borders and stuff like that. And it was such a sweet and tender film, and the score of that movie, I own the record. It's one of my favorite scores to a film. I think that movie was just so brilliant, and so I was really excited to see what she did next, which is this movie, and also her other movies as well. She will always be one of the directors that I really look forward to. But The Materialist was a bit different because I wasn't as hyped to see the movie, mainly because it just didn't feel that different from other movies that are rom-coms. It's just ridiculously pretty looking people going after each other, and one has money and the other guy doesn't have money, so it's a very overused trope. And I was just okay, how is this different? Give me your insight, Celine, sort of thing. But yeah, this movie came out I think in the summer, I think in July, and my friend had gone to see it and she absolutely did not like it, and I was like, wait, why didn't you like it? And she wasn't able to verbalize I think exactly why she didn't like it at that moment. So I was further dissuaded from seeing the movie because she was I don't know, it's okay, sort of thing. And I was like, my goat, Celine, being okay, that doesn't sound right, sort of thing, because she's a banger. Past Lives was such a banger. Anyway, I watched the movie Materialists this week, and it really left a lasting impression on me, in the sense that I think The Materialist is one of the most brutal depictions of modern day romance in cinema. And this is mainly because it shows the economic commodification of people. So, Celine Song had in real life worked as a matchmaker, and this movie's protagonist is a matchmaker. She meets this guy who's super wealthy at a wedding event that she had paired up the couple in, and he goes after her and she starts dating him and whatever. But throughout the course of the film, especially in the beginning sections, you see very wealthy clientele describe the type of partners they want, and the matchmaker, the main character, is taking notes and trying to pair up different people, and you see just how sort of tenderized, hingified dating is, especially for very wealthy people. It's they, they're paying money, so they want to get the best that they can, and so it's people aren't people anymore. It's broken down into numbers. I want her to be from this age to this age, I want her BMI to be like this, and girls also being I want his height to be like this, I want his income to be like this, I want his education to be like this. And I think Celine Song does talk about this in an interview where she says that it's dating has become really classist, and this is kind of a bit away from the movie. I kind of find that true, in the sense that growing up where I grew up, which is Ethiopia, a lot of girls would sort of talk about guys in a way that was I don't know, if he's not earning this much, if he's not rolling in money, I won't go for him, sort of thing. And I always kind of found that a little bit ironic, because it's if you're I don't know, if you're a feminist, and if you're I don't know, fighting for women's rights and stuff, you shouldn't operate from the basis of the man is making money. You should kind of belief in yourself, and I feel it puts you down, sort of thing. And anyway, back to the movie. The thing is, in this movie there's a lot of it's so brutal. The girls are dehumanized, the guys are dehumanized, and she's dating this rich guy, and at a certain point she's no, you're not, this doesn't make sense, you're so wealthy, you're a unicorn, you have the greatest income, you're really tall, you're all of this, you're really handsome, you're really smart, really educated, why are you going for a girl like me? And she's quite pretty, but her point was sort of you can do better. and it's just so sad to see how she sees herself as like an object in the market. And he's also talking about they're talking about love in such transactional terms. And then Celine Song has this kind of like motif that recurs in the movie where it's like love is supposed to be easy. You're not supposed to be doing math when you find love, sort of thing. I kind of disagree, right? I think it's a bit of both. You do a bit of like, oh my god, social incomes, religious, whatever, and then you also do the like, I don't know, I feel this way, so we must be together, sort of thing. But my kind of like gripe with it is that like it's multiple actually. Like first off, the cinematography felt a bit off. Like it just felt like the movie didn't like match the cinematography was showing. And what I meant to sort of like, it has this like veneer of like looking like a really good film, but and it is a good film, but at the base of it, it's just like a romance film. It didn't look that appealing for me. Like I think there was a aesthetic divide in the narrative, between the narrative and the aesthetics of the film. And then the other was just like the score of the film was not it. And the main narrative like disagreement I have with the movie is like this thing where the movie is really confused about what it wants to become. So at the same time, it wants to become a story about a rich guy, a Cinderella trope where the rich prince kind of like rescues Cinderella and she becomes rich and whatnot. And then the other is like her ex, which is John, who's he's a trying actor. He's trying to become an actor. He's really broke, lives with his roommates, and she like wants to be with him. And so she's like kind of like in two different places. And so it's this kind of like pretty women, like, oh my god, this rich guy's changing my life, versus like, should I pick this like very normal guy, sort of thing. And so it just kind of fails to be a critique of the tropes while also like playing into the trope, sort of thing. And that was my disappointment. I think this movie could have gone way, like, for me, the most interesting part of the movie was when the story was between John and the main character, which is the matchmaker, when they were poor, when they were struggling. I don't know if it's because I relate to it, because I for sure can't relate to like the 200K private equity rich guys. So it's like that's the story that I was like really interested in, because it's like, yes, it is hard. Like the movie's called The Materialists. Like the girl in the movie really wants these material possessions and things, and it does bother her that the person she loves doesn't make that much money. But and she does end up ultimately being with the guy, but with the poor guy, she leaves the rich guy. But it just, the movie was just confused about what it wanted to be. I think it fails at being a critique of the thing, because it kind of like, for the most of the film, plays into the movie. Overall, I think it's still good. I think Celine Song is still operating in that like modern redefinitions of love and how we see love, sort of thing, because Past Lives was essentially that, right? Like it was it didn't that much reinvent the wheel, but it reimagined how we kind of like see love, and how like people in our past affect our present, and how like the cultural thing comes. That movie was so interesting, and I just feel like Materialist, while still being interesting, could have gone way harder. I feel like 2, 3, 4 revisions in, and a more focus on the dynamics between John and her would have been just the perfect film. But didn't end up like that, and this is the movie we got. I'm still so invested in Celine Song, because legit she's such a talented director. But these are my thoughts on the film.